Thanks to 1.14, we now have 5 different types of villages. These are found in a few different biomes. But you know which biome doesn't have a village? Jungles. What would a jungle village look like? Let's see if we can make one and customize it to the jungle biome. So here we are in a jungle biome in 1.14. Now there are a few things about the jungle which I think we need to keep in mind when we build this village. The first being, there's not much space on the floor for anything whatsoever. Secondly, there's a lot of tall trees in here. Maybe we could use this aspect. And secondly, a lot of wildlife lives here, okay? We don't want to disturb it because we're not trying to deforest. Where's he going? We're not trying to deforest the jungle. Luckily in 1.14 there's loads of new jungle blocks that have been added and the texture has changed, so we might be able to build something quite funky. But before we start building, we need to ask ourselves the question, what do you find in a normal village? So according to the wiki, there are 9 different types of houses, ranging from a hut to a temple. Let's see if we can build at least one of each of these structures. So as you've probably guessed, we're going to build this village on the side of the trees. We're going to use just regular jungle planks for our path block. We don't want them to look like they're just floating, so we're going to have some support beams, which is going to be logs coming off the jungle floor. So let's start off with a small hut. So I'm just going to build a very basic little hut here, using this stripped jungle wood as the main block. This building is by far the most boring. There's probably space in here for like a bed and maybe a chest, and that's normally about it. We're going to decorate them though with some of these new jungle trapdoors and some jungle slabs to make it look a bit more detailed. Also going to take advantage of these new lantern blocks to hang. They kind of look a bit like cocoa beans, don't they? And of course, it is a jungle biome, so you're going to need some vines falling down all over the place. Even use some of these new jungle buttons for a bit of decoration. So there you have it, a pretty cute house. It's quite claustrophobic up here, but it is the smallest of the buildings after all. Next up, we're going to build a small house, which we'll build just off the walkway here. This house is going to be slightly bigger than the other one. A lot more space downstairs for stuff, and the windows are also 2 high instead of 1 high like that one over there. But this one's not going to have a slanted roof like that. Instead, it's just going to have a flat ceiling like some houses and villages do. But I'm going to decorate it nonetheless, not just leave it boring flat roof. Rather than being supported by a tree branch like this house, we're going to make this one instead have a tree underneath it. Like so. Once again, having vines running off it. Inside we've got a couple of beds with some chests and even a few of these new blocks. Plus a nice little carpet, because why not? A cute little small house. For the large house, we're going to actually have it touch the ground. So although from the top layer this house looks very similar to these other houses, it actually has another layer underneath it. A pretty cool layout. If you head inside here, obviously we've not put anything inside it yet, you've got a staircase down to the bottom floor, and then from here you can head to the jungle floor via a ladder. Like the rest of the villages, very basic interior, few tools and stuff, plus some beds upstairs. Very simple, but all the villagers really need. Next up we have a butcher's shop, which is basically a small building with a little garden with animals attached in it. Doesn't really need to be a big building whatsoever. I'm just building a small little building, as you can see here. Not too dissimilar from the hut, although it has 2 doors, one leading to the outside where we have our animal area, which is only small like in every village. Enough for maybe 1 or 2 cows. Adding a little support on for the farm section, and then another one coming off the tree here for the building itself. Plus heck, let's add some more supports in just to make it look like this place is very well supported. So we got some cows out back, and then inside we've got a little table with a seat and a chest, of course, to finish off the butcher's shop. Next up, however, we have the library. Adding a little water pool there as well, using some stairs, because why not? Building the library on a corner here, because it's slightly different, means we can add 2 doors in, which we all know villagers absolutely love. Doing a slightly different roof on this building. This one reaches a point in the middle rather than having just 2 sides. It's got 4 sides, because why not? Libraries are different sometimes, okay? And you really want these different buildings to stand out, so people will recognize it as the library instantly. Kind of like the blacksmith always used to stand out. And you'd be like, yes, I can get some good stuff. But here you have the final library building. You've got some stilts holding it up. The corner doors, plus some windowsills and the standard stuff. The lantern up here Inside, you got all the bookshelves plus a chest and some little tables as well. Next up, we have our small farms and big farms, which are pretty basic. Always the same in every single village. Gonna have your bog standard regular small farm here, but I'm gonna make a custom jungle farm as well. I think the stilts is the most natural way of holding these platforms up, as it would make most sense if they were ever implemented, as you just calculate it how far they need to go to touch the ground, rather than having to come off a tree like that and fit around it. It'd be quite weird. This is more likely to happen. But these custom jungle farms would be cocoa bean farms, like such, which would be very fitting, seeing as we're in a jungle biome. Next up, we have the blacksmith, which we're going to build over here. We're going to build this one out of some mossy stone bricks as well. Once again, not a very massive building because it doesn't really need to be. However, it's got this little cute outside section where we're going to add some furnaces and a pool of lava, of course. Maybe not the pool of lava, as it started setting the roof on fire. Instead, let's add an anvil, blast furnace, and a grindstone. And finally, we're gonna have a temple. And temples are always well upkept, so we're gonna build this one out of stone and some andesite. And we're building this in sort of an L shape, completely out of stone, having a very tall section over here to give it a bit of height and make it a bit interesting. Nothing overly complicated, as per every single build in this little village here. I say little, this thing has grown massively. Using a mix of lime stained glass and just green stained glass, I feel like it fits in very well with this very green biome. Pretty simple interior, just got some seats and a chest. Nothing too special. But there you have the final village building, completing the jungle village, which is floating above the trees. I'm very happy with this. I think it looks really cool. Be cool if they had some different style of villagers for just the jungle, but instead let's add these guys in for now. They look like they're having a blast. So a quick reminder of all our little buildings. We've got the little hut over here with a bed and a chest in it. The small house over here, which these two villagers, or three villagers, are very much enjoying, which you can also access the roof and have a look around. Oi, you just shut the door on me. We got our little cocoa bean farm, which obviously these villagers don't really care about because they can't farm them. We got our normal farm. Our temple. What is going on in here, guys? Our armorer or blacksmith, which this guy here is obviously very much loving. Our library in the corner, which these guys are very much loving. Our butcher's shop with our cows out back. Our huge house, which these villagers are enjoying. Oh, even one down here. He just hangs around the blast furnace. Maybe I shouldn't have put that in there. And our multiple beds. And that, I believe, is it. A very cool rooftop village. If you stumbled across this, it would be pretty cool if you were wandering along the jungle and you saw that up in the trees. I think that'd be like, ooh, nice little surprise. But there you have it, guys. That's it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Let me know what you think of my jungle village and if you'd love to see this implemented in the game also. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any suggestions, let them be known in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.